Hello guys, and welcome to the Super League Stadium review. This is going to be similar to the Premier League one I did previously, but obviously this one focuses on the Super League, which is the top tier of Rugby League and their stadiums. So I'm going to get straight into this. We're going to start with the Castleford Tigers. So Castleford Tigers Stadium is called the Jungle, but now known as the Weldon Road Stadium, unless it's changed again, but I knew it was Weldon Road last time. I've been to the Jungle. It's a very good stadium. The atmosphere from the home fans is intense. That's why they used to be called the Jungle, because it was a really intense stadium, especially when it comes to derbies like Leeds, even like Wigan, Warrington. Sometimes the atmosphere can be intense for them games, but the Jungle, it's a perfect ground. You're right on the pitch, whether you be home or away fan, and the atmosphere, like I say, it's electric. And then for like local pubs, there's a pub called Cas Vegas, literally a centimetre across the way from the road of the stadium, called the Boot Room, which also used to be known as Cas Vegas, which is like a beer garden pub. And that pub, it's perfect for pre-match and even after match. Load of good entertainment, karaoke sometimes. And Cas Vegas, the Boot Room, it's an amazing pub which just tops off Castleford Stadium, the Jungle. And then for the kids, there's also like a little rugby pitch right next to the stadium, so they can have a kick around while the parents are having a drink in the pub. So everything's solid. Car park, yep, you've got car park literally next to Cas Vegas, the Boot Room. And yeah, it's literally not even like a minute walk, it's about 20-30 second walk across the road and you're at the stadium. So that's the Jungle, and I've been to it loads. And here's a picture of the Jungle. So that's Castleford Tigers Stadium, the Jungle. Next up on the list is Catalan Dragons, which is a French team. So obviously this is going to be in Perpignan, which is in France. Been wanting to go to Catalans for so many years, for a good 5 years at least now, but I've never been able to go, whether it been finding the right person to go with, money, or even time really. But from what I've heard of people who've been to Catalans, it's a brilliant few days away. There's loads to do, like if you go with like your club travel, they might go like to Lorette, and then you can like go for a few beers in Lorette, go shopping even, and then come the game day, yourself to Perpignan from Lorette on the club travel, or even like if you go with some friends even and they get travel organised. It's a great weekend, great few days even away to go to Stade Gilbert Brutus, as it's called. Stade Gilbert Brutus. So I'm hoping to go to Catalans in the future. Fingers crossed we do in the next couple of years even. It's just, at the minute, I've got people to go with now. It's just the right balance between university and obviously money. But other than that, I'm ready to go to Catalans. And from what people have told me, brilliant weekend in Perpignan and Lorette. So I'm just hoping one day we get to go. Next up, we've got Huddersfield Giants, Galpam Stadium. I previously mentioned this in the Premier League away day ground video, so I'm not going to go into detail of this. So if you want to catch the Galpam Stadium, the John Smiths as it now known, just catch it in the Premier League review. But a good view at Galpam. There ain't much to do because Galpam Stadium, John Smith Stadium, is like located on a strange area full of hills. So if you can find a pub, so be it. But we couldn't find anything when we went for the Huddersfield Hull FC clash a couple of years ago. But for the stadium view, I was satisfied with it. I wasn't pleased, I wasn't annoyed. It was a satisfaction really. But that's the John Smith Stadium. If you want more description of that, check the Premier League review stadium. Next up, we've got Hull FC's KC Stadium, which is also shared with Hull City Football Club. Obviously, I'm from Hull, so pretty much here's how it goes. Stadium's located down a big main road. A few pubs around, and yeah, you're spoiled for choice really with these pubs, because some of the pubs in Hull can be okay depending which one you like, which one fits your bill. But there's also like a few takeaways around, but it's not like 10 out of 10, depending like say where you go really. But it's good, the KC Stadium. It's just not like what you'd expect really, but it's quite modern. 2002 it opened, so atmosphere wise it's not impressive at the KC, I must say. I'd give the atmosphere a 5 out of 10, but that's the KC Stadium. Next up we've got Hull KR's Craven Park. It's Hull FC's rivals, and the ground, well, I'm just going to say this, it's crap, completely crap. Some people nickname it as Caravan Park because it's that bad. Some of the disabled supporters are sat in bus shelters. Yes, they actually are in bus shelters. And then the away fans are miles away from the actual game. Like, kind of like West Ham's Olympic Stadium with a running track. It used to have a running track at Craven Park, and that's why the away fans are so far away from the pitch, it's unreal. You can't even see the opposite end sometimes. There's a few pubs down near Craven Park, but I've not been to many in East Hull because I'd rather just go back to town and focus on the pubs that I know. But I reckon there's a few decent pubs near Craven Park, but the ground itself, not a fan of, even though they just built a new stand. The new stand just makes it a little bit better because the new stand's very nice. Even though I heard it was a temporary stand from some place they borrowed it from, but who knows. Craven Park, not a fan of, and loads of people from Hull do say that, because if you're black and white, which is Hull FC, you're bound to say Craven Park's crap. But the new stand, just like say, makes it feel a little bit more comfortable. But if you're in the opposite end where the away fans are, honestly, it's poor. I'll show you a picture of Craven Park and you can see what I'm saying pretty much, because it's just a crap stadium. And even if I want Hull FC, I'd still be saying it was poor, because it's just the way it's laid out really.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Next up we've got Leeds Rhinos Headingley Stadium, which is now known as Emerald Headingley Stadium. That's a sponsor, Emerald. And Headingley Stadium is brilliant. There's a load of pubs around Headingley. There's a few like takeaways, chippies, so you're in a good place at Headingley. And I am a fan of Headingley because I do like going there, whether it be to watch Leeds FC or whether to watch a Leeds versus different teams like St Helens, Wigan, a neutral game pretty much. Been to Leeds loads. Headingley, it's one of my favourite stadiums and I love it. The atmosphere at Headingley is brilliant. We've got a loud drummer. We've got a drummer who's very loud and it makes the atmosphere really pick up. And even you've got trumpets flying off all the time, so atmosphere at Headingley. In one of the stands, it's like being at Liverpool's Anfield Cop End. It's like that sometimes, I'm not even joking. And I always just sit in that stand, and you've got the old famous South Stand, which has been redone. Same with the North Stand, it's getting refurbished. But Headingley is a perfect ground for any rugby fan to go to, whether it be a Hull FC fan or Castleford or Wigan. Atmosphere is brilliant. I recommend it. Now we go to Salford Red Devils Stadium, the AJ Bell Stadium. Salford have been having problems with their ground because it's in a poor location and they don't get the attendances for it. So because it's in a poor location, fans are blaming that, and I've been to Salford Stadium. It is in an awful location. It's on the motorway with nothing around it, so I'm not going to talk too much about this, because what more can you really say if it's in the middle of nowhere? All the best thing about Salford is you can get out. You can just get out easy because there's no attendance at Salford, and the AJ Bell Stadium holds 10,000, maybe just slightly more by an extra 1,000 or so, but AJ Bell Stadium Attendance is a poor, atmosphere is poor because there's nothing there, and yeah, it's slap on the motorway really. So the only thing positive about it is just you can get out quick enough, and that's about it. Now we'll move on to St Helens Stadium, which is called Totally Wicked Stadium. St Helens Stadium is called. Never been to this ground. Was supposed to be going to it in a couple of weeks, but can't afford it because money's tight for the quarter-final cup match. But from what people have told me over the years, St Helens is a brilliant atmosphere, brilliant stadium, and there's stuff to do around it, like a lot of pubs that you can go to. It'd be a brilliant place to go to, and I can't wait to visit in the near future. So I'm not going to talk too much, but here's a photograph of Totally Wicked Stadium, and this place I can't wait to actually visit in the near future, as I say, because of what people have told me. It's a brilliant stadium to go to, and I just can't wait for it. I'm just gutted I can't go in a couple of weeks with it, but that's money for you, I'm afraid. Next up we have Wakefield Wildcat Stadium, and Wakefield's Wildcat Stadium is called Bellevue. You've been to it loads when I was a child. It's a brilliant stadium, atmosphere is really good, and I love going to Bellevue. It's just one of them stadiums I've been to loads when I was a kid, and I thought I still like it even now as an adult. This was about 7-8 years ago. I used to go every single season. Wakefield Stadium, atmosphere is decent. It's not a 10 out of 10, but it's a 7 out of 8. And there's loads to do around the ground. There's like a place called Super Bowl where like you can go bowling, you can eat and dine, you can play a lot of like other games as well, and like there's like an amusement in it as well for like the adults who like to go on the slots and stuff. So pretty much Super Bowl makes Bellevue a lot better because the atmosphere it's okay, but it's a good stadium. Just Super Bowl just makes it even better for it really. It's supposed to be getting Wakefield's supposed to be moving the ground in a few years, but I hope they don't because Bellevue is brilliant. It's a brilliant stadium, Bellevue, and I'm going to miss it if they do relocate. It's easy accessible as well for travelling fans, so Bellevue is just a brilliant ground all around really. It's just a shame on the atmosphere because it's not one of them stadiums that you can really get a buzz off from. Right then, I'll move on to Warrington Wolves, which is called Halliwell Jones Stadium. It's another ground I've not been to. I do want to go. It's just, again, probably money wise, and the wrong timing really. But my voice is going, oh god. But Halliwell Jones, a lot of people have said there's a lot of good pubs around the stadium, similar to St Helens really, unlike Leeds. So I'm excited one day when I go to Halliwell Jones because it'd be a brilliant stadium to go to. I'm looking forward to actually going in the future. But here's a photo of Halliwell Jones. We move on to Widnes Vikings, and their stadium is called Select Security Stadium. Been here once. I can't really remember much about it, apart from obviously I know this as a fact. Their pitch is an AstroTurf, and yes, it actually is an AstroTurf, which is good for like teams who like playing normal pitches, because you get bruised, battered easy if you're an Astro when you've been used to playing on a proper regular field. But as I said, I can't remember much for the surrounding areas of Select Security. I think there was a pub, but there was only one, I think. But for the stadium, away fans usually tend to get a decent allocation, which makes the atmosphere for the away fans pick up. When I went that one time, the atmosphere was brilliant because we got a decent allocation off Widnes, because they don't really tend to sell out pretty much like Salford. They struggle to get attendances really. So Select Security, I recommend going just for the sake of, if you like your atmospheres. But as I said, I can't remember much about the surrounding areas of the Select Security. finally, we have Wigan Warriors DW Stadium, also shared with Wigan Athletic Football Club. Been to Wigan as well once, and I didn't think much of the ground, to be honest. It's one of the most what's the word I'm looking for? It's one of the most capacity stadiums in Super League alongside Headingley Carnegie and KC Stadium, but I didn't think much of the ground. It was the structure and layout of it was poor, to be honest, in my opinion, and a couple of OFC fans have actually said that as well. There's a couple of pubs around DW, but like I say, it's restricted, similar to obviously Wakefield and even Widnes. But the DW Stadium, it's a good atmosphere. It's just the structure and layout of it that just lets you down, in my opinion. I don't know what other people, if they've been for Wigan Athletic games or even rugby, if they've thought different, but my opinion was the structure of the DW was just poor. It was just the way like the seats are laid out, and obviously the stands is. I just wasn't keen on it. But here's a photo of the DW Stadium anyway. So guys, that concludes the Super League Stadium review. I hope you have enjoyed this, and you've also watched some of the videos I've done, the Magic Weekend vlog, and also the Premier League Stadium review. But for now guys, I appreciate it that you've watched it, and if you want to leave a comment, please do, be much appreciated for some feedback. But also guys, please do subscribe and check out more videos that will be coming up in the near future. But for now guys, I'm out of here. See you later.